Yeah. It's your boy Champ, and the Champ is here.
Hey,
What's going
up?
on?
What's up? It's your boy, Mr. Longchamp, in the building, co-hosting.
Okay. Yeah, we was before the show started, me and Gabe were in a heated debate about what the NBA was looking like
10 years ago versus now.
Yeah, come on, man. Listen, like I said, the talent was just more spread out it was more spread out. There was teams that had one star, you know what I mean, and whereas now there's 2-3 players on the team now.
Right, exactly, which is what I'm trying to say. I think the talent has just risen to another level where, as back then, players would just most of the teams would fill the role players. At least in the mid 2000s is what I think. Like earlier than that, I think talent was a lot more. It was a little crazier. Like in Jordan's era, there was a lot more talent where he had a lot of competition. There was so many great players that we know that didn't win titles in that era. Whereas in the mid 2000s, I don't think it's the same. Where it's like, yeah, there are some great players that didn't win titles, but I think it's just way more prevalent in the 90s and in this era. There's going to be so many players that's not going to win titles because the talent levels are just too crazy.
Okay, and I don't disagree with you. The talent level has risen. You know what I mean? Just by practicing, just in the drills are different. They're more intense, so they're gonna produce better players. They're gonna produce players with more stamina, with more skill set. Not denying that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is, teams are not necessarily getting the pieces that they need like they used to. Before, a team would draft a franchise player and build around that player. They're not doing that anymore. Now, they're recruiting 2-3 killers. They're getting, you know what I mean, one big man, 2 guards, or a power forward, a center, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, definitely that's partially true. Definitely, like recruitment plays a part.
Right,
player recruitment now.
But what I'm saying to you is, now you're getting the 3 players are the name now. It's not the team. It's not the franchise anymore. It's the big 3. It's your big 2. It's your big 4. Whoever pieces that you're getting. So this is why, to me, it creates an illusion that things has just risen higher. Whereas back in the day on the West, you would have a balanced team like the Lakers. You'll have a balanced team like Utah. You'll have a balanced team like what was the team that Melo was on? Nuggets. You know what I mean? Levinsky. You had Dallas. But now there's less teams that are more prevalent, and though the teams, there are more teams with more stacked players. Whereas there's teams that you probably forgotten about. Versus, back in 06, 08, there were more franchises gunning for a chip. Whereas, it's not as much now.
Right. So I'm gonna bring this back to how we even started this topic, which was when I brought up the Nets right now, the Brooklyn Nets. So right now they got Kyrie, they got Kevin Durant, they got DeAndre Jordan, who isn't a superstar, but he is a big name, and they got a couple other role players that's put together. So now this automatically is going to catapult them to a higher level as far as competitiveness when it comes to competing for a championship. You can actually count them in the conversation now. Back when they first moved, so I was just bringing this up because I see them over here. When they was in New Jersey in 06, they made the playoffs with 1 or 2 superstars. I want to say Jason Kidd and Kmart. I don't remember who else was over there possibly.
Okay.
And they was the 3rd seed above Cleveland with LeBron, and the rest of the teams in the East, can't even remember who was there. Washington, maybe Gilbert Arenas was there.
But what I'm saying to you is, it was more team involvement. This is why they made it to to the playoffs.
I think there's more in team involvement now. I think it's even more. Look at Golden State strength in numbers. I mean, now, okay, granted.
Golden State strength in
Hold
numbers.
on.
Yeah,
Hold on a
KD.
second. Time out.
Time out.
Before they got KD, there was a 73-9 team, and they only had Steph and Clay. I mean, Draymond Green is a superstar. Nobody was really looking at him like that back then when they first was up and coming. And even the year before that, when they won their first title, it was only Steph who was wild and who was a monster, and Clay getting his numbers. Andre Iguodala too. I mean, I said kind of Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala is a superstar.
The whole team was a stacked team, bro. What are you talking about? Yo, come on, man.
Nah, I'm just saying. Okay, so like you said, the whole team they all played together, right?
Right.
You separate them now. All of a sudden, what's up? Now we're not even counting Golden State necessarily to win the title this year. Because you took just one player off, Kevin Durant.
Yeah, because you created that.
We're gonna see. What? It's only because Klay Thompson's injured right now. That's the only reason why I'm not saying that they're gonna make this.
The Smash Brothers. Come
Yeah.
on, man. Once Klay gets good, Steph is like, all right, I don't got no one to lean on anymore. I got to get back to the original Splash.
Another.
Come on.
I mean, the Spurs now, they're not really as dominant as they were, but you could say a lot of teams right now have like some balanced attack. The Sixers, they made it to the playoffs and pretty deep into the playoffs with a fairly balanced attack.
But yeah, they made it to the playoffs, but they were just the best at the time, but we knew they weren't going anywhere.
What do you mean, this year?
No, last year when they
I'm
made
talking about
it.
this year. I'm talking about this year. They lost to the Raptors in 7 games. They have a pretty deep squad. I mean, now they lost Butler, but they had a lot of role players that was filling their role appropriately, which is the reason why they made it as far as they did.
Okay, but
same thing with the Raptors. Kawhi is not an island. He has a squad. He had a squad over there.
Okay,
right.
But all I was saying was the talent was just more spread out back in the day, so more teams had an opportunity.
But I'm saying more teams have more than one superstar now, whereas back then.
Yes.
So that's what I was trying to the point I was trying to
cool.
make, that there's more superstars in the league now. Because like you said, there's more training. I mean, the style of play has changed a lot because it's not a big man's game anymore, where it's more guards taking over the game. But I think that's just because of the fact that there is more talented guards in the league, whereas.
I'm not gonna necessarily. Yes,
and big men are also changing the way they play.
Correct. Big men are playing. It's more of a full court game now than a half court game. Mm-hmm. Whereas you'd come in, set your defense, wait for the offense to come down. You know what I mean?
If you got the big, usually back then you had the better big man. He probably was running the game. Correct.
Once you had a good center,
Timmy.
All you need was a good point guard and a good center.
Yeah.
And you had an opportunity.
Even if it wasn't a center, even if it was a power forward, like Carmelo and
Stockton. Okay, but like I said, the point guard was always the point guard and somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a guard and someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, that proves my point.
What? Is that prove your point?
Guys, I'm really excited right now. We got the business cards. We got the business cards right here. The champ is here.
The point is not
proven. The champ is his show. You know what I mean? I'm hyped. They're in, so we could market and advertise. Real quick, Gabe. You were here last time. Where we were recording, but we weren't officially recording. We were talking about Mind State. We were talking about stuff like that. So how do you feel now? You know, as opposed to last time. You know, appreciation and all of that. How do you feel in that work?
No, I mean I'm in a different mood than I was that day. Of course. I mean, that was about a week ago, and I would say. Between then and now, I've had less stress happening because of the fact that I've been able to accomplish a lot more things. Like I said, I got that website done that get a guy off my back, kind of, help to make me feel a little bit more better about myself. Like, I accomplished something, and I know my worth, and I'm not gonna let people take advantage of me.
Okay.
So just because I was having a rough day, but we all have to go through those once in a while, just to kind of get like a little bit of a wake up call, just so we can get ourselves right back on the right track.
Okay. Again, and I like to stress out. I had a friend that came over, and he was talking to me about basically his conflict was pleasing people. You know what I mean? Well, not necessarily pleasing people, but just basically, he wants to put his best foot forward, and he wants to everyone see him in the right light and stuff like that. And I told him that I suffer from the same thing, and I want to make sure everything's perfect before anyone sees it. So I was just telling him that the reason, and I suffer from that too. When you're doing something, when you're doing anything, and when people are watching you, it's completely different. So I told him that what we need to do to build our self-confidence and our self-worth is we have to do things that we're proud of. And when you do things that you're proud of, you build self-confidence. And the more confidence, the more you do something and the better you get at it, the more confidence you get. And the more confidence you get, the more self-worth, the more self-esteem you build. You build more self-esteem. And that is crucial because when we think of self-esteem, we think of adolescence, we think of peer pressure. No, but it's an ongoing thing. So pretty much I told him don't worry about the finished product so much, but continue to grow, continue to do what you're doing, and let people see your growth. Let people see the way you change. You're going through a metamorphosis. You know what I mean? And people are going to critique you. They're going to judge you. But until you accept yourself and accept what you're doing and love what you're doing and love yourself, until then, you won't be free. You're not going to be free of people's criticisms. You're not going to be free of the judgment. You're always going to be enslaved by it, ensnared by it. And then you start saying, wait a second, everything I create, everything that I do well. And you're going to have people that's going to keep encouraging you. And then you're going to say, wait a second. I believe that our purpose here is to create. I believe that you are put on earth to constantly create. Every day, we got to do something. Every single day, something needs to be done, even if it's mediocre. But then after 30 days, you can say, you know what, this wasn't good, but this is good, this is good, this is good. If you create for 30 days, 15 of those creations got to be good.
It's a fact. It's a fact. And whether, everyone's going to have their own definitions of what they think good is, of what great is. And you just got to, like you just said, put something out there so that this way you could actually be on the map. You can actually have something for people to give you some feedback about. If you're gonna just hold everything onto yourself, you're not gonna be able to know what is good, what other people think is good. What they like, what they want to hear, what they want to see, how you see yourself, and that's the only way we can see ourselves is sometimes through others. So the more people you can get feedback from, sometimes can be more of a benefit to you, depending on what it is that you're trying to do, of course.
Correct. So we'll leave you with this. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But in order for you to gain the confidence that you need, do the things that you love to do. And do them well. You go to work, do it well. I love what I do. I love what I do, and when I get a check, I can't believe I'm getting a check to do what I'm doing, and it's dope. It's dope. So
before we go, guys, I'm not gonna let this guy get off the hook that easy. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments. If you think today's league's talent is better, or 10, 15 years ago in the NBA, I want to hear from, around 2005 to 2000, 2010, 2012, around that era, to let's say around 2013 to 2000 today, about the last 7-8 years. Let's hear what you guys like to say in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, The Champ is Here Show.
Yes, sir. The Champ is Here Show. And we got business cards. So
Official.
We're in business.
Official.
I'm hyped. Champ is here.